Hi friends, Tracy here from the Sewing Channel. Welcome back, and if you're new here, it is my second anniversary here on YouTube, and I am going to give this quilt right here away to one of you. And I even got 4 other YouTube channels to help me out, and they donated quilts too. So I have 5 quilts to give away. You can stay till the end and get more info on that, but right now I'm going to share with you how I made this quilt. In this video, I'm only going to give you an overview of how I made this quilt, so I'm not taking you step by step like I normally do. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. So here I'm going to start off with some confetti strips. Now I do have a full tutorial on the confetti strips made out of scraps, so I will link that in the top right hand corner or at the end of this video. You see, I had a bunch of scraps left over from making the hearts on this particular quilt, and they left me with a lot of little triangles. So what I did was just add to the white triangles and sewed them together and essentially just made some triangular shaped confetti. My initial thought was to make these confetti strips and use them as a border around the quilt. Once I placed the confetti strips up on my design board with the star and the hearts and everything was kind of up there, I decided I didn't like that. I liked it coming out of the top and the sides of the star. After I had all 3 white pieces around the colored triangle, I then trimmed off the excess and gave everything a good hot press. And here you see me trimming everything up. I trimmed every confetti to 2.5 inches squared. I really love how they turned out, and plus I used a ton of scraps up. To make the heart and also the big star in the center, you will need these 8 different color groups, all scraps, little pieces that are just somewhere stashed up in your sewing room. Here I'm just ironing everything that I'm going to use within these hearts. It's best to iron these because our scraps and our crumbs are so tiny that it'll just make for everything to lay a lot nicer. So here I'm just adding my pieces together, and I'm creating a sheet of fabric in each colored theme. The goal is to get all of those tiny bits of scraps in one color to the size of half of your heart. For my hearts, I need 2 separate sides in the turquoise, in all of the colors really, but we're just working on the turquoise, 4 inches by 8 inches, and that's what I'm working on right there. Now you can see there is absolutely no rhyme or reason to what I'm doing. I'm just grabbing scraps here and there. I'm even slicing through the big chunks of the fabric, making them even smaller and adding more for just an added different interest. Uh-oh, how about a candid camera shot of my baby granddaughter right here, Josephine. Oh, look at her, she's so cute. I call her the scrap lady because she's always in my big bucket of scraps. Oh my word. Oh, God love it. She is so stinking cute. This is what we do all day. I sew and she just pushes my chair around. Okay, back to work. So I'm just finishing up on the turquoise here and it's looking good to me. And now I'm going to trim it down to 4 inches by 8 inches. And you'll have a set of these in every colorway. Then you're going to need 4 1.5 inch squares and 2 4x4 squares. The big squares are for the bottom of the heart and the smaller squares are for each of the corners on the top. You're going to first draw a line through all of them right from corner to corner, and you can see there how it will eventually play out. And then you're going to take them to the sewing machine and sew down that pencil mark that you just made on all of them. This method is called stitch and flip. And here I got a lot of my excess triangles that I made when I made my triangle border for this quilt. And so you can get some from the bottom there of these blocks. So flip the white up and then you're going to press it and then you're going to open it back up there and cut the excess off. And then make sure that it presses down real nice so that it stays nice and flat. And you're going to do that to all of those 3 sides on each of those blocks, and then when you put it together, you're going to sew right down the center seam. And then when you're all done sewing down that seam, you should have a really pretty scrappy heart. Now in the end, if you didn't mess it up like I did several different times, you should have 7.5 inches by 8 inches finished. Next, you're going to take all those same scrappy colors and make some squares. Cut out 6-inch squares and then cut each square diagonally, and then take the coordinating colors just like you see on my quilt and put those together. Then trim those down to 5.5-inch squares. The tutorial on how to construct this beautiful star is already on my channel. I will link it at the end of this video. So here's a shot of my design wall as I was working on all of the star and the heart, and it's looking pretty good. Now the hearts on the corners of this quilt have the 2 coordinating colors, and I used 1.5-inch strips and 7 each on both sides, and then the same size as the other hearts you would cut it to. So it's the same method but just done in strips. Now I end up quilting a lot differently than other people. I don't use patterns. I kind of wing it and just go with my creativity. So I just added the rest of the white fabric where I saw fit, where there were gaps, so that I could bring everything together. And I don't have like concrete measurements for you. It's just you would fill everything in. To bring it all together, I framed the quilt top with this really cute rainbow pin design print fabric that I had, and it turned out super cute. I created a low volume pieced backing for the back of this quilt, and again, that tutorial is on my channel already, so I'll link it at the end here. Now I had to sandwich this all together, and I did it on my pool noodles. Now if you're not familiar with the pool noodle method, you can check out my channel. Once again, I will link that. I have a full tutorial on how you can save your back. Oh yeah. Not to mention that it totally works. Once everything was sandwiched together, it was now time to free motion quilt this beautiful rainbow quilt. Now it met me with some issues and some problems, let me tell you. And I had just picked up my machine from being serviced too, so I thought, what in the world? Ended up, I had the wrong free motion quilting foot on. Once I put the right one on, mind you, after I was halfway done with the quilt, then everything seemed to work out. But here you can see I'm just doing a bunch of swirls all the way around. To be honest with you, I'm not really that happy with my free motion quilting on this particular quilt, but I made it through and I persevered and we got it done. On to the binding. Now here I just picked up a jelly roll. It was tone on tone white, and I thought it would be perfect for this quilt. I'm not going to go into detail on the binding because I've done it so many times on my channel, so I'm just going to show you just a little footage there of me attaching the binding to the quilt, and then mitering the corners, of course, and just tacking everything down. Oh, when it's done and you finally see the fruit of your labor, oh my word, when I look at this quilt, it makes me happy. I ain't even kidding you. I get happy when I look at this quilt. I'm so excited to be able to give this quilt away to one of you, my subscribers. That was the whole reason behind this quilt. That was the inspiration, the creativity, everything that I did on this quilt was absolutely with one of you in my mind. The drawing for this quilt and for other quilts is not until February 14th of 2022. So if it's not yet that February 13th at midnight, then you still have a time to get over to that giveaway video on my channel, get all the information that you need there, and hurry up and enter. You don't want to miss out on this one. I almost forgot. Here was the secret message that was embroidered on the back of my quilt that I made for the giveaway. Until next time on the Sewing Channel, take care.